Seriously? Did you really run out of... I guess you did, huh? I guess we can try it again. Let's see, Quicksilver ore. Let me check and see how many dragon parts I came up with. And I need to get rid of some of that stuff. 8 bones and a scale. Wow. Yeah, I guess because, I mean, I've seen a lot of other people play and they tend to do a lot of fighting and whatever. I basically live my game. I mean, really. I take time to mine and do all the boring stuff that most people don't really like to do. Or I don't know if they don't like to do it. I notice that a lot of people will cut the boring scenes like this out, you know? But I don't know. I find the boring stuff to be, well, to me, interesting. Yeah, the crafting. You know, they'll cut out their crafting or they'll cut out their transportation time. You know, and just like focus on getting the quests and the fighting in the dungeons. And me, I don't know. When I start a game, I start and I go from beginning to end, and everything in between, everybody gets to see. I'm not cutting that stuff out, you know, whatever. So people can actually see what a boring gamer I am. But like I said, I like crafting. One of my favorite games is the Atelier series. I love the Atelier series. I mean, some of the game you're fighting, but the main thing of the game is to actually make stuff. And I think the first game that actually got me into the crafting stuff was, I think, Dark Cloud. Just the name was interesting, so I got the game. And then after playing it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Remake the entire world again. And then Dark Cloud 2, remake the entire world and make everybody happy. But I don't know, the Atelier series, let's see, I have completed one. Well, I've completed the Dust Sky, sorta. I'm working on Atelier Shale right now, but I've done from Verona all the way up to Shale. I've only completed Totori once, because Totori just, I don't know, I didn't really get thrilled with Totally all that much. The change in gaming style from Verona was a little awkward for me. Maruru. I think Maruru was my favorite. And then I guess if I had to go out of the Dust Sky, I'm not sure. I do like Eska and Logi though, because it gave you two characters to work with. So I guess that's, my other one that I liked. But I really enjoyed Maruru. That was just the story of Maruru was really cool. Here you have this princess that really isn't much of a princess. To me it's kind of interesting because that's the first one out of the series that actually had a family. Because, Verona, she didn't. She had Astrid. And, she had parents, but, they weren't really parents. I don't know. And, with Totally, her grandfather died, and he was the one that was teaching her alchemy. Or to be in whatever. So I think Maruru was, the only one that you actually had parents. And yeah, just her being a princess, but not really. I could see she did not want to be stuck in that castle, So I thought her story was really cool. So, but actually, I really did enjoy Verona. I really loved that game. And because it had so many different endings, I still have yet to get Astra's ending. I've gotten all the other ones, but I still have yet to get Astra's ending. So, but, I like games that actually have a replay value like that, So get different endings with, different playthrough styles, or completing other people's quests, have different endings. So I like that aspect of the Atelier series, and I think that's one of the biggest things for me, is that once I complete the game, I can go through and something will be different this time. And I finally played Atelier for one of my friends, and they were just like totally in awe over Panna the cow. Atelier Shell, it's sort of like Eska and Logi, because you have two characters, but it's not, because Eska and Logi, even though, well, Eska and Logi was basically the same story, same playthrough and whatever. Shale is different. You have two girls named Shale, but their playthroughs are different. They do end up helping each other. Well, crafting system in Shale is slightly different too. It's similar to Eska and Logi, because your Atelier person, they can't make weapons and armor. Like in the previous ones, you could actually do that. But one of your party members makes armor, just like in Eska and Logi. But you have to actually get them in your party in order for them to do that. So, like I said, it's a really fun game, and the gameplay is slightly different with each character. you know, they have different weapons that they use, so, you know, different skills. But the game is really interesting, and given the fact that you have two girls from two totally different backgrounds and their stories merge somewhat, but the stories are different. So when you play through as the first shell, or play part of the game as the first shell, and then you you know, say, you know, okay, I want to play as the other shell. You play as the other shell. Their stories are so completely different. The party members that they get to actually help them along the way are completely different. So I really like that game. It's very different, but somewhat similar to Escanlaji. But with Escanlaji, you did have the same character. You know, it was the same story. Just, you know, you had a different character now. But one shell is the daughter of a chief, and her town is running out of water, so she's over here trying to get help from the town to, you know, help resupply water to her town. And the other shell is from this oasis desert kind of town that actually has a good water source. And she's an alchemist, but yeah, she doesn't really have much money, and because of, what is that place called? The capital, whatever that place is. You know where Laji was from. You know, because of the advance in, you know, alchemy and all that stuff there, nobody really goes to a normal alchemist anymore. They have everything imbued now. So being a regular alchemist doesn't really pay that much. And she's a beginning alchemist. She doesn't really know much. And yeah, her life is like really boring. And she needs money. She needs to survive. So she has to take small jobs around the town to make money to live, basically, and kind of support her mom. But yeah, her story is basically that of a peasant trying to make it. And then you have the other shell, which is the chief's daughter trying to save her village. So the reasons they're actually doing this are completely different. So the end for each person is going to be different too. So in Shell, you actually have two completely different stories that kind of meet up and link, but they're completely different. So, I don't know. I suggest to anybody that plays any of the series, start out with Verona. You know, start out with Verona and work your way up through the story so you can see the change in gameplay and how it has advanced. Because, I mean, you can just start from, you know, the one that's out now, Shale or Escanlaji, but, you know, I say start from the beginning. Or at least if you're going to do Dusk Sky or the Dusk series, start at the beginning of the Dusk. Don't just start in the middle or the end. Well, I guess it kind of depends on. Oh, and let me restart my game since I did go through and we got that little autosave there. Let me see if I can actually save here, and I'm going to restart my game. Because you know I did kind of clean out my PC a bit there, so hopefully everything kind of